National Assembly Speaker Baleka Mbete will meet with opposition parties in Parliament. The opposition wants the State of the Nation address postponed. ENCA's reporter Lester Kivett is at Parliament. He joins us now live. Lester, so on Friday, Baleka Mbete announcing that she had rejected a request by the EFF for a motion of no confidence to be held before the State of the Nation address. She also said she rejected a request to postpone the State of the Nation address by the Democratic Alliance. What will today's meeting look like?
Well, from what we understand from the Speaker's office, this was a scheduled meeting between the Speaker of the National Assembly, Baleka Mbete, as well as with the chief whips of all political parties represented here in the National Assembly chamber. They say there was a scheduled meeting, but what we're hearing from political parties that they will go to that meeting with several demands predominantly centered around who will be making that speech during the State of the Nation address come Thursday evening. Opposition parties are unified that firstly they don't want it to be President Jacob Zuma to be making that speech, but there are some other concessions. Some political parties want the State of the Nation to be postponed to a later date so that there can be clarity and finality on the future of President Jacob Zuma. The EFF, for example, they want President Jacob Zuma not to address the joint sitting of Parliament at all, and in fact wants an opportunity to have that debate before the State of the Nation address even takes place. But we do know that a motion of no confidence brought in the name of the EFF has been scheduled for the 22nd of February. So there's still lots of balls up in the air on what exactly is going to be taking place come Thursday. Will there be any concession from the Speaker, Baleka Mbete, and especially with that special ANC-NEC meeting happening tomorrow evening here in Cape Town, just a few hours before the State of the Nation address? What impact could that have on what the outcome of this meeting could be today, and what the outcome of that meeting could be on the State of the Nation address? Penciled in for now for Thursday. Yeah,
penciled in, absolutely. As you say, so many balls in the air. Who knows what SONA will look like come Thursday? One thing is clear, though. Opposition parties say even though they want the president barred from delivering that address, it doesn't mean they'll boycott SONA.
It's a very tricky place which not only the ANC finds itself in, but also what opposition parties find themselves. Many opposition parties say that President Jacob Zuma is the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to their 2019 election campaign. So many would argue that the longer President Jacob Zuma stays in office, the more detrimental that could be to the ANC and more beneficial that could be to opposition parties, and everyone seems to be in agreement of that. And I think that is why the ANC has already admitted that for as long as President Jacob Zuma stays in office, that could severely dent their chances at the 2019 general election, just about 16 or 17 months away. But at the same time, many opposition parties are also playing the role that if they can put forward a motion of no confidence in President Jacob Zuma, and that motion indeed passes in the National Assembly, similarly, they could then say that they are the people that removed the president from office and not the ANC, so that there is this fine balance that I'm sure is happening behind the scenes of the ANC wanting to control the narrative of the future of President Jacob Zuma, but at the same time, the opposition parties knocking on the door constantly of Speaker Baleka Mbete, saying that they want that motion of no confidence to happen as soon as possible. And if that doesn't happen, they would want the State of the Nation postponed. Already we're hearing that some political parties have lawyers on hand to interdict the State of the Nation going ahead. That will only have confirmation on once we find out what the outcome is of this meeting between Speaker Baleka Mbete and the chief whips of political parties.
All right, well, thanks very much for bringing us in the picture there. That was ENCA reporter Lester Kivett, live to us there from Parliament. That's as National Assembly Speaker Baleka Mbete set to meet opposition parties in Parliament.